Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. If you are here live, I will be posting this onto my page, so don't worry if you missed the live. I am here as promised with the second of my launches. We had a launch yesterday. My craft room was filled with 11 lovely ladies who came along and stamped the afternoon away, which was great fun. So shout out to all of those who joined us in person yesterday. And if you missed out on yesterday, you will get to see the same projects that we did in my online launch, which is happening right now. So if this is what you're here for, you're in the right place. I just wanted to, check that we are in fact live. I think I can see a couple of people joining, so that's great. If you have your catalogue, your mini catalogue and your celebration catalogue handy, you might want to have that close by as you're sipping on your cup of tea or beverage. It's pretty hot here today. It's probably almost even too hot for a cup of tea. I don't know. It depends where you're sitting. If you're sitting in aircon, it's probably just perfect. But I think we're now about 32, 33 degrees outside Celsius, so quite warm today. So it's nice to be in the cool of my craft room. My craft room's downstairs, so it usually all the cold air sort of sinks down here, and it's a really nice place to hide away on a hot day. I'm going to switch the camera around straight away because there's a couple of things that I want to share with you before we get started, and I'm going to just have a look inside the two new catalogues with you as well, because we can do that now that they are live on the customer website. So let me just switch that around and I'll pop the phone in the cradle. Oh, there we go. You can see my glass mat, which I have been using pretty much non-stop since I got it. This is actually a free gift for people who join Stampin' Up during Sale-a-Bration. You actually have a choice. There's lots of options, right? So we all love options. You're not locked into one particular option at all. If you choose to get the glass mat, you'll get that for free with your starter kit, and you're still paying just $169. You'll get your $235 worth of products. I'm just straightening my camera out. Here we go. You'll get your $235 worth of product, plus your choice of the glass mat. Now, this actually comes with a fabulous, I'm going to call it a chamois, but it's actually a cleaning cloth. And do you know what? It even cleans your stamps. So here we go. I've got some stamps that are still dirty from yesterday. It cleans them just beautifully. It gets rid of all the ink. Any glue that you might have on your glass mat as well, you can just rub it straight off with that. I keep mine just damp and I rinse it off as I need to. I rinse the ink out when it gets a little bit inky. It will stain, but it is so soft and it gets right in the grooves of all of your photopolymer stamps and your rubber stamps. It cleans ink off blocks as well. So if you've been a bit heavy-handed with your inking up, it's perfect for that as well. So it's very similar to the chamois, the Stampin' Chamois, which we have in our catalogue, but it comes with your glass mat, and that's the size of it. The other thing that comes with the glass mat, while I'm talking about that, is this fabulous little tool, which is a silicone craft mat, I guess you'd call it, and you've got a nice sturdy base there to pop your project. If you're working on a project, say you're spritzing or watercolouring, and you want to contain your ink and your water, you've got some little palette spaces here to mix your colours, custom mix your colours if you want to, and there's a larger one down the bottom. So that also comes with your glass mat. It's $106 worth of products that you just can add to your starter kit for free. So you've got your choice of all your products plus that fabulous glass mat. I have not moved my glass mat away from my I've not moved it from my workspace since I got it. So I'm using it pretty much constantly. And I think you'll find that if it's something that is on your wish list, I'm going to zoom out a little bit, guys, so you get to see a little bit more of my workspace before we start. There we go, that's a bit better. Yeah, so it has been fabulous. And it's just nice to be able to clean off your workspace and then go again. You know, you don't have the problem of having to dispose of your scratch paper, which might get a little bit inky or wet as you're doing the messier projects. Okay, so here we have our brand new catalogue. I'm just going to point out a couple of things. I've shared with you a little bit of the celebration information, but the celebration has freebies for people during the months of January to February. When you shop, host or join, when you shop, there is the opportunity to earn free celebration items that are only available during celebration in this catalogue. There is what we used to call level 1. So with a $90 spend, you've got your choice of various products. There's stamp sets, there's designer series paper, lots of designer series paper. There's embellishments, and yes, some more stamps here, some really cute little designs for masculine cards. There also is a section for the $180 spend. So if you're spending $180, you can actually get the dies that match this stamp set. There is also the option of getting a stamp set and this gorgeous embossing folder, which I'll be demonstrating for you today on one of our projects, so stay tuned for that. And when you host a Stampin' Up party during celebration, that's the other way that you can earn freebies. Not just you, but your guests can also earn freebies from the celebration catalogue. When your orders reach 500, though, you'll get an extra $50 to spend with your host rewards. That's on top of the host rewards that you would normally get. So lots of opportunities to earn free goodies, and that's happening until the 29th of February. So at the moment as well, I'm actually encouraging people to book a Stampin' Up workshop, not just so they can see the mini catalogue products, because they'll be around until April, but during celebration, you'll want to book a celebration party, because if you book one between now and, like, just booking, not actually holding the party, but book it between now and next Sunday, the 28th, you will be able to get a prize. I have a prize tree. Let me just bring it over so I can show you what I mean. I've got lots of little prizes. Now I'm going to bring the phone over there. Let me just go for a wander with you. I want you to see how I set up the room a little bit yesterday. Here's my prize tree, and we have quite a few prizes available. When you book a workshop at your place for celebration, so you hold your workshop before the end of February. If you place an order from any of the catalogues totaling $100 between now and the 28th, next Sunday, or if you book into a class. Now, I've just advertised my classes that I've got coming up, and they are on the previous post on my Facebook page that you're watching this on. So you'll want to just scroll back through and find those posts about the classes that I've got coming up. And when you book into one of those classes between now and the end of the week, I'll also choose a also choose a gift for you from my prize tree. So here's the prizes that you could win. I'm going to post all this on my Facebook page afterwards so that all the information is there. There's stamp sets, there's designer series paper, there's cardstock, there's adhesives, there's even dies. So you could win something really, really cool. But you need to be in it to win it. So place an order, book into a class or book a Stampin' Up party at your place. There's another way that you could also get a prize picked for you. And hi Nadine, good to see you. Hi Christine, Happy New Year. There's also another way that you can choose a prize. I am going to choose one for anyone who joins my Stamp Club. Now, Stamp Club is a free class every month, runs for 6 months. We take it in turns to be host. So you'll get freebies once in those 6 months. It's held at my house, so you don't even have to tidy up to be part of it. It's very cool. We learn some really cool techniques, play with the products, you learn how to use the products that you might already have, and you gradually add to your stash as you place your orders every month. So if you'd like to join Stamp Club, I only have 2 spots left now. And the classes are on a Thursday, so I've got more information if you'd like it. Just message me on my page here and I will send you some more info. I'll also pop everything I said just then on my Facebook page after the launch so that you can read it through and get back to me if you're keen to grab any of those opportunities. All right, let's go back over here. This is what my craft room, I've tidied up a little bit since yesterday, but still, you can still see the craftermath. We had a lot of fun yesterday. If you were here yesterday, you'll know that, yes, we did make mess, but we made some beautiful projects, so it's all worth it, right? Okay, so I've shown you a little glimpse inside the Sale-a-Bration catalogue. The other catalogue that has just launched is, of course, our mini catalogue. And this one has products in it that will be available all the way through till the end of April. So we've got 4 months to enjoy the products in here. After that, many of these products will be retiring. So it's a limited time that a lot of them are available. Even if they are being carried over, some of them may not be carried over as a bundle. So you need to be aware of that if you want to save 10%, if you're, say, getting the dies and the stamps at the same time. Now is the time to do it. So we have a couple of new suites. If you've got your catalogue there, page 9 is the Be Mine suite. Which actually was released a little bit early. So we've been playing with that for a while, and you'll see some more projects based on that suite on my blog and on my Instagram coming up. So I'll be sharing more of that. The other one that we also received early for our World Card Making Day was the Heartfelt Hexagon bundle. And that one is a set of stamps and a punch. And that's one of the 10% savings. So if you get both of them together, you will save 10%. You can look out for these as you go through the catalogue. I'm going to turn to the first item that we'll be using, and the one that I'm about to show you, which is the Thoughtful Moments Hybrid Embossing Folder. Our new Stampin' Braille as well. And I'm going to show you a card that the greeting is made with this hybrid embossing folder and die set. And we're also using, I'm going to put this to the side, we're also using one of the stamp sets from the Sale-a-Bration catalogue, which is called Watercolour Melon. And this one is very cool, very summery, so very appropriate for right now. We have, there's a number of samples there that you can see. I'm going to make a card fairly similar to the ones that you see on the front, except we're going to change the greeting. So let me get organised for that. I'm just going to dive over here and grab my bits and pieces for that card. I won't show you the finished card yet. My sample's over there. Okay, so we had a couple of things that were already pre-cut for us yesterday, and I wanted to streamline the creative process a little bit for my customers who came along to my in-person launch. So one of the new techniques that we learned, or a technique that people hadn't really tried before, was this one. It's called direct to paper. So you can do this on any normal scratch paper. I'm going to be doing it on my glass mat and wipe it off after that. So yeah, so that I'll be able to use the surface again. So basically direct paper involves a stamp pad. I'm using my Floaty Flamingo, and you just want to grip it on the sides like that and just run the stamp pad down the sheet of cardstock that you're working with. This is a sheet of cardstock that's slightly smaller than a card front. So there we go, we've got some nice texture. As that dries, it will dry a little bit softer. So don't panic if it's a little bit strong to start with. I'm going to leave that open over here because we'll be using that. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp. I might just do all my stamping first, and then we'll bring in our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I'm going to use the watermelon stamps, and they look like this. So watercolor melon stamps. It's just a stamp set with images, so there's no greetings, which means that you can pair it with pretty much almost anything. I love how it's a 2 or 3 steps stamp set, because you've got the watermelon, and you've got the seeds, and you've got the rind as well, and you've got a whole melon. You might recognize that shape. Yes, it does go with the modern oval punch, which makes it super easy to cut out. You're not having to do that by hand. So I'm going to stamp all of my melon pieces onto this piece of cardstock here. This is just a piece of basic white cardstock, and as you're stamping with the stamps, you'll notice that there's quite a bit of texture on the stamps themselves, and it really does give a great impression of, you know, the light and shade that you would find in watermelon flesh. For the whole watermelon, what I'm going to do is another little technique which you may be familiar with. We've tried this before. This is called rock and roll. And the only thing you need to remember with this one is going from light ink to dark ink. So we have lemon lime twist and we have shaded spruce. Obviously, looking at those 2 ink pads, this is a lighter one. So we'll go into this one first, and then we're going to just roll our watermelon in the darker one. I'm just going to stamp that one down there. Let's see what it looks like when I stamp it off. That's a bit too pale, but that's okay. I'm going to use the full strength one, and I'm going to punch that out using my modern oval. This is such a versatile punch. I love all the different shapes you can make with it. So there's my whole watermelon. These ones you can cut out by hand. The half one though, you can actually cut out with this punch again if you want to. I probably won't do that today. So for my rind, I'm just going to use obviously the rind stamps, the skin, and I'm going to just stamp them like that. Because you can see through these stamps, you know exactly where that image is going to end up, which is great. And then I've got my little seeds. I'll bring in my black Memento ink pad for those, just to make it look a little bit more, a little bit more authentic. That's it. And around this way, looking good. And then just simply get your scissors like this and go around the edge. It's a really fun set to play with. I've actually seen people make these into pizza slices. And what was the other thing? There was something else somebody did with it and it looked really cool. I thought, how clever. I'll think of it in a second. But something else that's a wedge shape that you can definitely use the watermelon segments, the stamps for. Yeah, it'll come to me. But yeah, definitely pizza. You could decorate it with different things. Stamp it in a different colour, of course. Makes it look completely different. There we go. So there's my watermelon pieces. All right, so they're ready to go. Leave that handy. I'm going to close these ink pads. I'm going to show you the brand new hybrid embossing folder, Thoughtful Moments now, which consists of an embossing folder as well as some dies that match the embossing folder. Let me just wipe that ink off. I might give that on my card. There we go. Super easy to do that. Okay, now let me bring in the embossing folder and I'll show you what it looks like. So it comes together with the folder, which obviously has all the words on it. So you can see if I hold it like that, you can see thank you, oh happy day, love you, hello, and a couple of others. There's about 10 of them on there. And what you'll need to do is work out, first of all, which word you're going to use. So I'm going to use the hello. So I'm going to put that, you've got two different sides. One side has the Stampin' Up logo on it and the other side doesn't. So you're wanting to put your paper that you're using for whatever word you want to ink up and punch out. You're going to put the paper so it's completely covering that word. Then you're going to take hold of the dies, and although you can't see the word you're punching out, you can actually see all the other ones. So you're going to straighten it, going to put it over the top of the other ones so that they're all sort of lined up, and then you know that the hello is going to be in the right place as well. Okay, so I'll work that out once I bring my my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine over. Make sure it's in the right spot before I run it through. Then we're going to take our brayer. Now this brayer is a little bit different to our old brayer. It is actually a silicone brayer. So I think it gives you better ink coverage for techniques such as this. Again, it's very easy to use. You're just going to run over. I'm just worrying only about the word hello. I'm not worrying about any of the other words because they're not going to be punched out at all. And I'm just going to close this. Whoops, make sure it's in the right spot. There we go. And I'm going to grab my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And it has only plate 1. So we've got plate 1 there. And I've got my adapter plate. Because this is actually a 3D folder, it gives really nicely deeply etched impressions. All we need is this plate number 4, if you've got the Stampin' Up version. And as it runs through, what it does is put the ink onto the other side, and you have a hello with an outline. It has actually got a little bit of texture, a bit of a bumpiness to it as well. You can see on the underside, the deboss side. But that is ready to go on our project now. How cool is that? So this folder is fabulous. It means that you can actually punch out about 10 greetings all in the one go. And yeah, and it makes it very, very quick and easy. All right. So we have our card base, and we've got our green, which is the shaded spruce, and we've got our flirty flamingo. I'm going to just run my closed scissors. This is a little technique I taught everyone yesterday, just to give it a bit of texture around the edge. Keep your scissors closed and just run the edge of your scissors, the closed edge, along the cardstock, and it'll just be a little bit roughed up, and I think it adds some interest that wasn't there before. I've done this on both sides. I think this is my sample for yesterday. So a little bit of stamping seal on the back. We're going to be mounting this on white eventually, but this is just putting the top 2 layers together first. And what I did also was I punched out another hello outline just with, not the embossing folder, but just with the dies. And I used some of our glimmer paper, our specialty paper from the annual catalogue, and that's going to provide an outline around, yeah, well, not really an outline. If you put it just slightly offset like that, you'll see both the white and the black and the silver at the background. So I'm going to get some glue dots because we're sticking this onto that shimmery, sparkly paper, and glue doesn't work so well. It's a bit like glow mesh. It doesn't really stick very well unless you're going to use something like glue dots, which have a lot more stick. So you definitely want to go for your glue dots. All right, let me just see if I can line this up again. It's looking pretty good. I'm happy with that. So there you go. That's our greeting. And then with our watermelon pieces, I'm going to put one just up in the top corner like that. And the other one, the large one, the whole watermelon, just on the side there. Nothing's going to be too straight. And this one I think I'm going to pop up just with a couple of dimensionals for some dimension. There you go. And our greeting, we will stick that on the back. You can actually use, some of our Stampin' Seal on the back because it's a flat surface at the back and you're sticking it straight on to the flat cardstock. So that will be fine to use. And I'm just going to adhere that down the bottom there. And that's my card. I would then put some more Stampin' Seal on the back, but let me bring in my original. This one's got the gold glimmer paper behind, and see how I've just popped it straight onto a plain basic white cardstock base. So that's our first project. Let me show you a couple more watermelon cards. This one, I think you might have seen that on my blog. I've used the whole watermelon like as a little word window. And that's where I stamped it off. Didn't stamp it full strength so that when I stamped the word, it would stand out a little bit better. There is another stamp in this set which does the leaves, the watermelon leaves. So there they are. And I've just stamped them and cut them out by hand with my paper snips. And you'll see all the other shapes there as well. What else? Here we go. I've got another one. This one's sort of just going landscape, very similar. And I think I've used these ones. I have used the greetings from the Ice Cream Swirl stamp set. So how appropriate are these greetings for the watermelon set? We've got hope your day is sweet, thanks for everything, yum yum, make a wish. They would all be very suitable to use with this watermelon set. So I love how you've got cross coordination with some of the new products in the mini catalogue as well as the Sale-a-Bration catalogue. So I hope you liked that little project. We had some fun putting that together yesterday. Okay, let me go back to the mini catalogue and we'll see what next. What's the next suite that we will play with? Okay, so I've shown you this fabulous new Thoughtful Moments hybrid embossing folder. That's on page 18 if you're looking for it. Here are some standalone stamp set, another bundle, perennial lavender, beautiful. Haven't played with that yet. I do have it. We're going to actually be using the embellishments next from the perennial lavender suite. So that's the purple fine shimmer gems. Let me find you the stamp set that I'll play with. It's another bundle actually. Some very cute, very, very cute stamps and product projects that are showing how to use them in here. I love how there's so many samples. This is the suite that we'll be playing with at the end, so I'll save that one up until we get there. I'm just flicking through All right, we're nearly there. We're getting to the page, Poetic Expressions. There we go. So you would have noticed on my little price tree, we had some circles, and I've stamped them with this stamp set, the little hummingbird. And this is a whole suite of products that's designed to be used together. But do you know what was the one thing that made me want to get this? It was, in fact, the set of dies. So I'm going to go and get the dies and just show you how many dies you get in there. Okay, so these are the Thoughtful Expressions dies. Right one, here we go. Thoughtful Expressions dies. And the reason I got them was because they had these fabulous nesting dies in them, and let me show you. So we've actually got two sets. We're going to be using two of them. Two of them are missing from here. So the biggest one there and the smallest one from there, and we're using them both on our next project. So I'll show you those. But how cool are they? I love, it's not a circle, but it puts some stitching both on the inside and the outside of the die when you're cutting. And same with these ones. They are just so handy. So even if you're not using them necessarily with the matching stamps and you just want some nested shapes, some shapes to layer, to do a telescope theme card, or they're just really, really handy to have. So I think the next card is going to show you how to use them with a stamp set other than what's in the bundle. So they come in a bundle with the Thoughtful Expressions, and yeah, that you save 10% doing that. And I do have the stamps, but I'm going to be using them with a Sale-a-Bration set. So let me just get the bits and pieces for that. Yeah, so I am just, I've just had to go and get another piece of card because I realised I didn't have it, which is okay. So this is my card base, and I'm going to work from the bottom up, and I've got the Sale-a-Bration embossing folder here, as well as the stamp set, which is called Softly Sophisticated. So these come together as part of a bundle when you spend $180. And I'll just show you them again so that you know where they are. They're right at the back on page 14. So that's it. It's the Softly Sophisticated stamp set and the Softly Sophisticated embossing folder. They're called the same. That's handy. And the stamp set is really cool. But what we're going to do first is our background. So I like how you can have it going in this way if you wanted to do a normal card that opens out that way, portrait. And that's what we're going to do. So I'm just going to put the top layer of my card, the front of my card, into the folder there. And then because, again, it is a 3D embossing folder, I've got just the bottom plate, plate 1, and I'm going to pop the folder straight on there. You'll see it fits perfectly sideways as well. And I've got my grey adapter plate, plate number 4, and just running that through. And here we have absolutely beautiful pattern. It just puts an exquisite detail on the front of your card, and that's nice just as is. Like, you don't even have to do anything. It reminds me of candle wicking, but if you run your fingers over that, it's just so soft and beautiful, and very, very detailed. So love that effect. But we're going to do something really cool with that, and I'll show you where I got my idea for this from. If you have a look on page 14, can you see how there's a little bit of colour, like an ombre effect in the background of this card in particular? So that card's the plain white. This card has a bit of a blush of colour in the background. So we're going to do the same. I like getting my ideas from the Stampin' Up catalogue because it means I don't have to come up with an original idea ever if I don't want to. I can just copy. That's my favourite technique, copying and sharing everything. We have a stamp pad called Fresh Freesia here, and we're going to use that on my card base. And I've got a purple blending brush. I'm just going to swirl that on, and I'm going to come onto the bottom of my card so that the colour is going to be concentrated down the bottom here, and then I'm just going to gradually, in a swirling motion, just keep it moving, and you'll just get a blush of colour extending up the card. If you want to add more colour, you can, and then you can just keep coming up, making sure that the most of the colour is down the bottom, and then just gradually bringing it up. Like that. So there you have the ombre effect. Doesn't that look lovely? I really like that. I love how it picks up that pattern. See, it really stands out now, doesn't it? So now we're going to lay some things over the top. I'm going to do some more cutting in the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. This time we're going to do some cutting with the dies. So I will bring my machine over that has the two cutting plates, the two plates and a base plate. So we're using dies this time. We don't need the adapter plate. And I've got two little extra pieces here. This comes from the the set of dies. I don't know if you can see, there's two little fronds there and there. There and there. That's the two little fronds. And we're going to be cutting them out of two different greens. So I've got Lost Lagoon, and I've also got Pretty Peacock. So let me see if I can find my two little pieces, which were right here, I swear. I might have to do them in this green. I'll do them both the same. And then I'll show you my original card, because I can't find the two little bits of paper. They're probably lost on my craft table somewhere. So there you go. I've put those in. I'm going to just tear that actually, because I don't need all that cardstock and I need some more space. I'm going to run all this through together. So we've got some white. We need to cut the white circle piece, and we also need to cut the word window. So pop that on there. It's a really lovely shape, this one, because you can obviously use it just to layer as a background. You can stamp on it, and you can layer the same shapes on top of each other, and they're all going to match, which is great. I showed you the nesting dies before. Just get that little one out so it doesn't make an extra dent. All right, let's run this through. Okay, so I've used shaded spruce instead of the other two colours, but that's okay. It'll still tie in really nicely. So there it is. Can you see that lovely stitched edge that it puts on there? It does it both on the inside and the outside. Gorgeous die. Here's our word window. That one just does it on the inside. And here are our two little fronds that we'll be putting on our card. I'm just going to get my pokey tool, paper piercer. Whoops. There we go. All right. let's reclaim the space. So now we're ready to stamp and also assemble. So we have our fresh freesia. I'm also going to use Lost Lagoon, which will tie in. We'll tie in with our shaded spruce. A Blackberry Bliss, now that's for our greeting because we want that to stand out a little bit more. And our stamps are sitting over here. This is a 2-step stamp set, and I'll bring it in just so you can see where the stamps come from. So you've got a couple of sprays of flowers, and they're designed to be stamped together with the foliage, the leaves. You've got 3 different greetings, and remember that stamp set is exclusive to Sale-a-Bration, and you get it together with the softly sophisticated embossing folder. So those 2 are meant to go together, and they do beautifully. All right, so here is our foliage. We've actually got a little bit of ink on there, so I'm going to get my cleaning cloth from my glass mat and see how easy it is to get the ink off with it. It's brilliant. And then I'm just going to go into my Lost Lagoon ink pad, and I'm just going to stamp the leaves down like that. You can see there's some gaps there, which this is meant to fit directly into. So this is the flowers, obviously. And this little one here is actually where this bud is meant to be stamped. So if you line that one up, it's kind of easy to work out where the others are going to go. And I find it's easier if you stand up and get a bit of a bird's eye view of these 2-step stamps. So that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Our word window, we're going to stamp our greeting, which also comes from the same stamp set. This one says, "You're in my thoughts." So I'm going to ink that up. And I'm going to stamp it. Just straighten that up. I'm going to stamp it straight down there like that. Beautiful. Perfect. I managed to not get Blackberry Bliss everywhere. It's always good when you don't. Okay, so that's ready to assemble. I'm going to get some dimensionals on the back of my words. I'm just going to put 3 going across like that. This is going to serve 2 purposes. It will hold the words onto my project. It will also allow me to place my little fronds, I'm doing that way, behind like that. So, oops, let me straighten that up. There we go. So now I can put that straight onto my card base that I created before. Let me just add a little tiny bit, oops, of the Stampin' Seal. It's okay that that's exposed because that's going to help hold everything together as well. And I'll just make sure everything's straight. I'm going to put it sort of towards the top, and I'm going to straighten it up like that. Oops. And that is my card. Now it's just missing something. Needs a little bit of bling. So this one is from the perennial lavender set, which I mentioned before, and these are the embellishments from there. I'm going to just use all 3 colours. So there's a soft purple one, a medium colour purple one, and we'll just add maybe another one just there like that. Just so it's got a little bit of a sparkle and a bit of interest on there. I'm just going to straighten that up again. These don't stick permanently straight away. You've got a little bit of time to lift them up. But I'm pretty happy with that. Let me show you a couple of others in different colours so that you can see similar cards look different in different colours. So this one you'll recognise I've used the offcut that you'll end up with when you punch this circle shape out, this fluted circle, and I've actually twisted it so that the points are top and bottom, side to side, and that's like a little window through into a garden in the azure afternoon blue, and this one is in yellow. So, you'll find that, different colours have different effects. And I'm just plugging my phone in. There we go. And it looks completely different, depending on what colour you're working with. You'll find that, you can create something in a similar style, but it does have a completely different look when you switch out the ink or even the cardstock colour that you're stamping. I've used the different flowers in this one too, so again it's got a different look. So I hope you like those, and remember the stamp set and the embossing folder are free when you spend $180. So if your order's just under that, it's definitely worth bumping it up and getting that gorgeous folder and that stamp set, which you can use for almost any occasion all year round. It's fabulous. Alrighty, next. Let's keep going through the catalogue. I don't think I've got to the end yet. I'm just going to keep going to the end, and then I will show you some things that are some of my favourite products, and then we'll go back to the final suite that I'll be showing you. So it's very well organised. You can go to the back and see all of the bundles listed, the 10% bundles, and they've got even more samples of each one. So it's it's good to go all the way to the back and not just to the section where that bundle might be pictured, because there is even more to see. We've got all of our stamps at a glance as well, very handy, and the dies at a glance. So they're separately pictured, I should say. There's all of our papers. There are some beautiful papers. There's a perennial lavender. There's the one we're going to play with in a second, Nature's Sweetness. I've shown you the Be Mine suite, but there's lots and lots of others. The embellishment section. Now that is obviously one of my favourite sections. I love all the bling, all the ribbon. We've got our brayer. We've got our new masks. We've got some new punches, quite a few new punches actually. There's a special host set, which you don't want to miss out on. If you earn host rewards, you can actually choose to spend them anywhere you like in the catalogue, but you've also got an exclusive host set to choose in this catalogue. There's one at the end of the annual catalogue also. A little bit of information about joining, and So towards the back, let's keep going back and we'll find the suite that I'm about to show you, which is called Nature's Sweetness. Now this probably, I would say, is my favourite suite in the whole catalogue. I love it. It is very vintage, very outdoorsy, neutral tones that you can bring in other colours if you want a pop of colour. See, they've just used a little blush of pink in this one here. I'm keeping my next card fairly neutral. It also has some beautiful specialty designer series paper, which features the gold foil, and you will be able to use that in small amounts in your projects, and it'll have a real impact. Love the dies with the bundles. I got both. I got the whole suite, so I've got everything in this suite. I couldn't choose between the bundles, so I just got them all. And we're going to be playing with both actually on our card. We're going to mix and match them, because obviously they go together so beautifully. This double page spread, how beautiful is that? Love all the projects pictured in the middle and the two suites either side. You can really get a sense of how they work together. You've even got a die, this one here, this long one, that sort of creates like a notebook and puts perforations and holes in your cardstock and paper. So you can actually make a notebook with these dies. The stamps are fabulous. So I'm going to grab the bits and pieces to put this one together, and then I've got a couple of samples to show you. that feature this suite. So let's just get this out of the way. All right, let me bring in my bits and pieces. Here we go. All right, so we have a few white pieces. We have some of the gorgeous paper. So this is where I mentioned there is some gold foil in the paper. Beautiful. We've got some white. We're using a crumb cake base. So that will, I don't think I need that one for this one. I think I just need these three. So what we're going to do first of all is we're going to stamp with one of the stamps in the Lovely and Sweet stamp set, which is this one, this big one. We're going to bring that in and stamp it just in the Memento ink. We're just wanting it to be fairly plain at this stage. Now we could colour this in. We could watercolour it. We could use our daubers, or we could even use our blending brushes to colour in the leaves and the flowers, but we're not going to do that this time. So there it is, stamped. Love that this glass mat provides a really flat surface for you to stamp on. You don't have to worry about any bumps. It's awesome for that. Okay, we are going to bring in a couple of other stamps. So let me just show you what they look like on the stamp set cover. We've got this stamp here, which is like a grid pattern. We've also got some words which are from the other stamp set, which is here, Lovely and Sweet. So that's that one there. We've also got a stamp that puts like little splodges or paint spatters, and that's from the Notes of Nature. So you can see we're mixing and matching both of these stamp sets together. And trust me, it will look awesome. We've got a greeting here. We're not going to use the whole greeting, and I'll show you how we're going to make that work in a second. All right, so we've got some neutral colours to play with. We've got Pecan Pie. And I'm going to just use that, flip it round, because I think we're going to use it this way. So you see what I'm doing here? I'm actually stamping the words across the image that I've stamped in Memento, and I'm just making sure that some of my splodges and my words are kind of meeting, inside the outline of the stamp, so that when we punch it out with the die, we're still going to be able to see all of those. Oops. Yeah, all of those images. So it sort of looks a little bit messy now because you see how I've gone outside the lines, but our die is going to cut around all that, and it's going to contain all of the images into that shape, which is what we want. Right, so let me find my die. The dies, of course, all match the images. There's some extra dies, as I said, for little tags and tickets and things. So I've got these two here as well. So I think we can roll these through all together. Let me just see. Alrighty. So we've got some space here. So here is my die for the foliage. Just want to line that up. And then we've got this piece, and we're going to use the notebook perforation die. And I'll just pop that straight under there. Just want to line it up so it's fairly straight. And then we've got this bit here, which we're going to use to cut out this little tag. We're using that on our card as well. That's actually where we'll stamp our greeting, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. Okay, now I'm looking for my top plate. Here's one. Just going to run all these through together so it's nice and quick. Yeah, so we've got a couple of long big dies and a small one, which is going to make it quicker to be able to run it all through together. I love that. I love how our platform's nice and wide and big, so you can do that. Okay, so there is my foliage. And I've got my little tag. And then I've got my note paper, which comes out like that. Don't know if you can see, but it's actually got a perforation there. You see it on the other side a little bit? Yeah, I'm not sure if you can, but it's very cool. So you can actually tear this bit off if you want like a perforated edge. I'm going to leave it, but it does look really cool if you're wanting to increase the vintage factor. Now, this is also something that I would recommend you doing. Keep all your offcuts like this, especially ones that have a little bit of stamping on them, because you'll be able to use that on another card. That's like a little window. You could put that over the top of some designer series paper, or yeah, you could stamp in it if you wanted to. It's up to you, but don't throw these away because you can use them on cards and things. Alrighty, so I think we are ready to go. Let me just show you how to do your greeting, because this stamp is not going to fit. We can't actually say everything on this stamp, this die cut. So we're just going to outline in pecan pie. Just going to colour up the word thanks in our pecan pie Stampin' Right marker. Just breathe on it to re-moisten it and stamp it down like that. And then you've just got the word thanks, which is really all you need for a thank you card. And I am looking for my stapler. Anyway, there's meant to be a stapler. I'll show you on my original card. You can use, if you just want to use your stamp and seal, that's fine. I'm just going to put that on the side. That's going to go on the card eventually. And this one, we're going to put some dimensionals on the back, maybe 5. Just make sure too that all of the bits come out of the holes that you've punched. So just want to make sure you've got all that lovely detail in there. That's pretty good. 4 or 5 is good. Okay, and that's going to go on this side. So you're just going to lay it on like that. Now, we need some embellishment. So for that, I have got some of the faux leather trim, which comes from this suite, and it really does feel like real leather. I was smelling it the other day too, and I don't know how, but they've even got a scent that smells like leather. I'm sure there's a perfume actually that does that. But it does feel and smell and look like real leather. It's got a bit of a sheen to it as well, a little bit of a gold fleck on both sides. So I'm just tying it in a bow, and then I'm going to grab some a glue dot. There we go. So that's going to go up the top there, and then we've got some cork embellishments also from the suite, and these are literally, I think you've seen me use these before in a video. Really beautiful, tying in with all that sort of lovely natural look to the card. And then just on the back I am adding a little bit more Stampin' Seal, and then of course that goes onto the card base. So I like how once you've got it on the card base, you can see the holes and the perforations, and it actually is quite nice if that's kind of sitting up a little bit. So that's my card that I made for you. This is my original card, and you can see I have used the stapler. I've just stapled that on there for a little bit more texture. I've also run around the edge of my tag with the edge of my scissors, so you've got a little bit of a roughed up look. So you can keep it fairly pristine, or you can step it up even more to look even more vintage. It's really up to you and your personal taste. Let me show you some more of these cards that I have made using this suite. Here is one. Which way does that go? It goes that way. That one actually has the name of the foliage stamped there. There's a little part of the stamp that gets cut off when you punch it out. You might have noticed. It's the name of the botanical name of the plant. So there it is. I've actually stamped just that part on the tag there. So, and I've added some of the little flowers punched out of the gold, and I've used it on some of the other designer paper. That's what it looks like when you tear along the perforation. So you just get kind of half circles going along. I haven't even stuck that together straight. I deliberately kind of put it a bit off center to make it even more rustic. Here's another one. I think we made this on a Facebook Live earlier. You would have seen even before the catalogue was launched. I did a sneaky peek of this suite because it was the first one I got. And you'll see, I've used those cork embellishments in the middle of the flowers and in the middle of there. The paper matches the die as well. So even if you don't have the stamp set and you've just got the dies, it's good to know that you can cut some of the images of the paper out. Here's another one. You'll see, the paper. There is a sheet which you can divide into 6 different bits, and it basically is a card front. These were some offcuts, so I actually did a knot, and then I cut it off at the knot because it was too long, and I just have adhered them with a glue dot, so it sort of almost looks like paper clips, but that's the faux leather trim. I kind of like that one. It's got a really cool look. Let me show you some of the projects that we will be making in the class that features this suite. So this class is a gift making class, so it could be for anybody, anytime. It would make a really nice Mother's Day gift class gift. It would make a nice birthday gift for someone, and it could even be used, for a masculine gift because it's not too girly and frilly. We are making, and this is advertised on my Facebook page, if you scroll back, we're making a little notebook, and it's all hand stamped and very personalised. We're covering a pencil in the gorgeous paper as well, and I'll show you how to do that in the class. There is a wall hanging, which again, very personalised and very unique. It's something you could even use it as a little photo frame. If you wanted to pop a photo in there, you could, but it's nice just as is. So I'm going to show you how to create one of those. And there's a matching card. So this one says Happy Mother's Day using one of the Celebration sets. But again, if you're not making a Mother's Day gift, you can stamp Happy Birthday or something else on there. So that's just the gift making class, which is happening in March. I've got another 2 classes happening in Feb. So have a look back on my Facebook page and you'll see those. You can book into those. If you book in between now and next Sunday, don't forget, I will choose a prize for you from my prize tree. Okay, so I think that is everything that I wanted to show you. Let me just bring in the projects once again so you can see what we made. So here was our watermelon card. And here was our lovely and sweet card. And here is our softly sophisticated card. And these two were featuring Sale-a-Bration product, which is all free with a qualifying order. And this one, the one that I just made, was featuring one of our suites, which I think is going to be very popular. So you can shop anytime, 24/7 in my online store. And don't forget, when you spend $100, obviously you'll get some freebies when you spend every $90 that you spend from Sale-a-Bration. But with me, in between now and next Sunday, the 28th, you will also get a prize. I'll choose you a prize from my prize tree. So that's when you spend $100 or more. So think about your wish list if you've got a few things on there. You may decide to place an order, or the other option is you can join Stampin' Up and get all your products in your starter kit and more for just $169. Get your glass mat too. Thank you, Deb. Get your glass mat as an option, and then you'll have a great work surface to create on. I'm going to flip this around and say a quick goodbye. I also wanted to cancel. Sorry, I just nearly stopped and I didn't mean to. Here we go. Hopefully we're still on. I just wanted to make a quick announcement. This year I'm actually going to be doing my Facebook Lives on a Sunday afternoon. So I was doing my Facebook Lives on Saturday. So I'm just changing the day. It'll be around about the same time, 3 or 4 o'clock on a Sunday. It'll always be posted to my page and onto YouTube as well. So if you miss the live, it doesn't matter. You can catch it when it's convenient for you. So I just wanted to let you know. I'll also be posting all these details on my Facebook page now after I sign off with you, so you can go through all that information. If you've got any questions, just ask. Just shoot me a message, or you can text me. If you've got any questions about joining or about Sale-a-Bration or booking a party or coming along to one of my in-person classes, just ask and I will get back to you when I can. Thank you so much for watching. I'm glad that you were able to join us this afternoon, and I hope you enjoyed the projects, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye.